I want you to vote if you can vote. Um, if when I say that, when I say if, I'm referring to if you're old enough to vote, definitely get out there and vote. Um, if you have the right to vote, I definitely want you to get out there and vote. The very first time I voted, and that's all we're talking about here, just when I voted, the last few times or whatever, for the presidential one, not the local stuff. I don't always get into the local stuff, but sometimes I will. Um, my very first was 90 something, and it was Clinton, Bill Clinton, and he won. I was very, very happy about that. I went in there, and a bunch of the old folks. It's always old people that's in there during the monitoring. It's different, but it was always older people, and they all knew my mom and my grandma, and they'd be like, "Hey, Carlton, how you doing? How's your grandma?" And I was like, "Well, she's doing pretty good." And 4 years passed, and by this time, I'm going to school, but I'm going to school in a different place. But the school that I'm going to is in Atlanta. And in order for me to vote, because I have this whole rule about I'm not going to change my driver's license and register to vote in another state unless I'm going to be there for a while. And I kind of knew I wasn't going to be in Atlanta for a very long time. I knew I was just going to be there for a little bit. So I didn't really change anything, which was cool for me. And downside is, for me to go and actually vote, I had to get in my car, Dodge Neon, and just to let you know, back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, not every car had cruise control. So my foot is doing this the entire time. Yeah, it was, I think it was 120 miles away. It was a good long drive. I did it fast. I illegally drove like super fast because I'm young and dumb. That's what we do. And how do you open this thing here? Oh, I got smudgers. And 2 hours later, I got there, and the old ladies, some of them were not there anymore. But the old ladies did the exact same thing. Hey, Carlton, how's it going? How's your grandma? How's your mom? And it's like, oh yeah, she's doing. I haven't seen you around here. It's like I'm over here going like, oh, you know what? I had to come here and vote, and then I'm going back to Atlanta. You're in Atlanta now, and it was really nice. I mean, those old ladies, they were very sweet. I miss the old ladies. But anyway, come on. Oh, come on. What am I missing here? I got the smudger. My mom told me that when I was young, I really should have watched the video on this here. On how to get this thing open. When I was young, I used to play with my toys. Then after I got bored with my toys, I would smash them and rip them open to see what was inside. That's kind of what we're doing here. So we got another one right there. Now, the beauty of what ended up going down, this plate is in the way. That's the problem. The problem is this plate. I don't know how this is constructed. It's so weird. Oh, utterly distracting. Anyway, I voted, everything was cool. So that's me voting for Clinton twice. That was awesome. And then eventually I came up to New York. And in New York, I did vote, as much as I could. But up here, I decided to become a New Yorker. So I'm a New Yorker now. But I do go back home. And there's other key points I wanted to illustrate in this video, which is at some point I realized that I had to do early voting as fast as possible because usually during November, the crew and I would actually be in Buffalo. We would be training people. And as we're training people in Buffalo, we don't have time to stop what we're doing and go and vote because our voting areas were in different counties, 5 hours away, different counties. And somehow I picked up on one of my coworkers. They were like, yeah, I already did my absentee ballot. And I was like, oh, you did an absentee ballot? I should probably do that one of these times. And he's like, one of my coworkers, Mike, coworker Mike, you've seen his videos if you've watched some of my YouTube stuff. Mike was like, yeah, he does one all the time because we don't know how long we're going to be in Buffalo. We don't know what day we're going to be. In 1 year, we actually went on the trip in on Sunday, which is very unusual for us. Very, very unusual. So I was like, okay, I'll make sure that I go on ahead and try to do that. I never got around to doing it. But the very first time Trump was on the ballot and he won, I couldn't vote. There was a problem. You see, I had pushed myself beyond a certain limit physically. And because I had pushed myself beyond a limit, I ended up getting pneumonia. So for an entire month, I'm laying on my back. And it started in November. Now, they couldn't figure out exactly what it was at first. They were like, well, we think it's mono. It could be, what do you call it? My blood cells were doing some weird things. They were like, exploding too fast or whatever. It was wacky. And I ended up having to, it was just bad. It was just bad. But at the end, they found out that I must have had mono at some point in time, never showed symptoms, and just got over it because I had the antibodies in my body. And it wasn't cancer. They checked for that. And FYI, if you ever have to get checked for cancer, you're gonna have to do a whole year of them checking the blood work, minimum, just coming back every 6 months. It's not a pretty sight, and hopefully they don't find anything. Always hope they don't find anything. But I've had a scare like that, and that was the one time I could not vote. And after that, voting became very much more important to me because I realized that I'm over here about to not make it, and I was like upset that I couldn't vote. And what else was going on? I don't think there's a time when my Mustang got wrecked, but yeah, it was a really, really bad time for me. And I was upset that I could not vote because I woke up the next day, and the person that I didn't expect to win actually won, and that's okay. So after that, and because of the fact that I got sick, I think a year after, I got sick again a year after, but it wasn't as bad as that. It was like we thought about, hey, should you do, what do you call it, absentee ballot, and that plus the fact that just a couple years later, we ended up having a pandemic. I had already said, you know what, I was thinking of doing it, but now I'm going to do it. I ended up doing the mail-in ballot thing, absentee ballot, and come to find out, I would end up going to Alabama every single year around voting time. And that was the reason. There was a second reason to just have the absentee ballot there, use it or not use it, go down there and do your thing or not. You'd at least have it with you. So that's my whole thing about voting is I want you to vote. If you're legal to vote, I want you to vote. If you're not legal to vote, fix your situation as best you can. And that's all I gotta say. That's my whole story about voting. And right now is a really odd time because I had the absentee ballot, but because we are doing training right now, like last week, you saw the video of me singing and everything, because last week I literally was wrapping up some stuff and everything was like buttoned up and done. And this week, we are not doing anything because of the whole voting thing. We don't want to actually get in the way of people attempting to vote. And in New York State, I don't know about where you are in your states or in the world or whatever, New York State actually has a federal holiday or that particular day, that Tuesday, is an off day for state workers. So it gives them the ability to go and do their thing, which is nice. Because truthfully, I had never heard of having an official off day for something like that until recently. Recently being when I moved to New York. So my ballot is already in, and I'm not worried about it. See what happens on Wednesday morning, and hopefully the BS doesn't happen. We're all hoping the BS doesn't happen. Even my shadow over there is hoping the BS doesn't happen. You see what I'm saying? Even my shadow is like, yeah, we hoping the BS doesn't kick in. Yeah, I don't think we have to go through this here again next time around. I think it'll be, when this is over, I think the next cycle of major voting will be a lot more tamed, because people should be just like Tony Stark and learn from their mistakes. And when I say they're going to learn from their mistakes, they're going to realize that the rhetoric, the ability to say anything you want doesn't always mean that you need to say everything you want. But this, for the guy who noticed that, hey, I've got an Xbox 360 controller, that is 100% correct. I also have an Xbox One controller. Oh, there we go. An Xbox One X Series controller. This goes to my bad boy over here, the big tower. You will see a couple of videos referring to my Xboxing. Oh, is there a label under here? Hang on a second. Is there a thing under here? By the way, this is a really old controller. Nope, there is a label right there. So I need to check to see if there's other stuff under here. But this controller, I don't have a 360 anymore. So it's okay for me to rip this guy open, because it doesn't matter anymore. That's all I got to say. Get out there and exercise your vote, people. Exercise your ability to vote if you are able to vote. And like I said, I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm only here right now to just say get out there and vote. That's all I care about. I also care about opening up this freaking device. I want to see what's inside. Oh. You're what's holding me up? Are you kidding me? You're what's holding me up? Come here, you. There we go. I think this is what's holding me up. Those two guys. Are you the one that's holding me up? Nope. That's something else. Something else. It's over here. What's that? Smudger again. Come on. I thought it'd be a smoother thing here. I can see the wobbly thing, like wobble, 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 wobble. Don't make me get a hammer. Don't make me go MC Hammer. Okay, I'm done. You guys can leave now. I'm doing a personal thing here. I want to see what's inside. Let's get the smudger again. I need an assistant to help me with this here. I think we got it. I'm hearing this stuff. So there's fasteners in here. Oh! Hurting the mic. There's fasteners in here too. Wobble, 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 wobble. I got one of the wobble, wobble, wobbles out. Look at that. I got one of them out. There it is right there. This thing it spins. So we got one piece out. What's holding you together, man? Oh, snap. There it is. I see it. There's a screw right there. I see it. I think there's a screw right here. Come here, you. There's a screw right there. There we go. There's another one right there in the dead center. I was like, something's holding this guy down. And I knew it was a label somewhere that had... There we go. You're no longer standing on 6 toes. I think that's got it. So we got one more smudger thing here. But if I can just get this guy out the front. This is a horrible job I'm doing here. There we go. We got a piece of him out. Okay. So we got this one little piece that's over here. It's acting like there was another screw over here, but I don't see another screw. So I'm going to use the fat part of the smudger. See if we can just get this out without breaking my face. Oh, genius! There was a screw that was in here. I'm an idiot. There was one more security screw that was in here that I thought had been released already. Son of a gun. Yeah, there was one more security screw sitting in here. And that's what was holding it together. Hope it didn't damage my screw. No, I think my screw is still in good shape. But yeah, that's it. I finally got this guy open. Got these two dangling guys here. Those are, what do you call it? The wobblers or whatever. One's bigger than the other. That's weird. I thought they would have been even. Huh. But yeah, that's the controller right there. Oh, wait. That's the controller right there. Oh, wait. There we go. Not much to it. Not much to it at all. Oh, I look like I cut myself. Nice. Okay. I will probably throw this here away. Oh, that is really embedded. And I can see where it looks like I spilled some stuff inside of this here. But yeah, that is it. Okay, I'm for real this time. That's the end of this video. Goodbye.